So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are listening to this fabulous interview with the amazing Sam Palmer. Just get that straight in there. Who's in her summer sunshine led yellow?
I'm in my fitness kit, sorry.
Well, I would have expected nothing less from you, Sam. So Sam and I met years and years ago when we were both training in, were you, I think we were right from the start, weren't we? Foo Fun Club and then Holistic Core,
Yeah.
Core Restore and
No, I didn't do the core restore, I did the third age.
third age women.
Yeah.
And we're recording this interview for the Hormone Cafe for Barrow upon Soar, but it is going to go out onto my YouTube channel as well, because obviously I want as many people as possible to get to know you and the work that you do, because I know because of your background, because of your specialisms or where you've chosen to specialize, you've got something different to offer to myself. And that's the key for me, is let's introduce as many different people to as many different people, so that because we both know there is someone for everyone and we can all take little bits from that. So Sam, maybe just start by giving us a really brief snapshot of your very illustrious career to date.
Snapshots, went from nursing into teaching, into fitness because my brother was killed and I needed to do something in his memory, to 25 years later, now really combining all of those three things: my nursing, my teaching, and my passion for movement is the word I'm going to use. So that's a real snapshot of how I've got here.
Fabulous. And just so that you know as well, Sam also loves a sort of black bean brownie and a glass of champagne. And isn't it interesting? Because as you may or may not know, my story came from my sister dying as well. So and I think for me, that gave me a sense of just the importance of life and vitality. And we never know when our time is up. And therefore, we want to be as healthy and as well as we can be whilst we're on, we have 2 feet on this soil. So tell me a little bit about how you are now combining these three passions, and in particular working with those of us going through perimenopause, menopause and beyond.
Okie dokie. I think my big thing is that HRT, which is seen as the thing, and I'm on it, it's seen as the thing to help us through this menopause journey, sort of wondering if you're perimenopausal or realizing you have been perimenopausal, to, in your early 70s, some of the women that I work with. HRT is seen as the sort of the catch-all that'll make it better. And there is absolutely no doubt it helps us in many, many ways. But I believe it's not a sticking plaster. I discovered the way that I describe what I do by mistake. Somebody said to me, Sam, I want to start HRT. I'm not sleeping. I'm doing this. I've put on weight. I've got baggy bits and saggy bits, and I just don't feel like myself. And I said to this person, imagine you open your wardrobe, Claire, I said, and you open your wardrobe and everything falls out. Your clothes are all over the place. The hangers are around the wrong way. There's shoes you haven't worn for 50 years. Everything falls out. You wouldn't just go and buy another wardrobe to sort out what's going on. What you'd actually do is take everything out, and you'd have a jolly good sort through, and you'd think, well, I still like that. Definitely like that. That's gone. That I'm never going to wear again. And probably like most of us, you have a few things that you are like historically fabulous. Yeah, I'm definitely going to wear that again, even if you don't. But you have a few things that are sort of everyday fabulous, and then some maybes and some definite no's. And I think that we get to a stage, and for every woman, it's very different. When I first started doing this, the women who I worked with were generally in their early 50s. Now, probably the same as you, Mary, because of the way that menopause is being spoken about so much more, women are tuned into the changes in their hormone effect, if you like, much earlier.
Yeah.
But at some point we realize, hang on, everything's not okay. everything's not right. And it's a bit like tidying out the cupboards. And I support women to tidy out their lifestyle, fitness, movement, and way of living cupboards. I support them through making a decision about whether HRT is right for them. I'm not a nurse prescriber, but I am very comfortable to say, you know, these are the varieties of HRT, these are the risks, these are the benefits, this is a decision, therefore, that you need to make based on your lifestyle. But nobody should get through to the end of perimenopause or menopause and not know about the amazing effects of broccoli, or walking, or sleeping, or sex, or orgasms, or all of the other things that are so important and so rich in our cupboard.
Yeah.
We need to share that kind of information.
Wow. Okay, that is such a beautiful analogy. And also, when I had that image of you sharing, you know, you open the cupboards and it all falls out, I thought you were almost going to say, and you don't just stuff it all back in again and then try to elbow the door closed and hope it's all going to hold, you know. So I can totally relate to what you're saying, and I'm sure quite a lot of the listeners can as well. Now, I think one of the biggest questions I get asked, and you know, it's something, you know, it was interesting that you said, you know, you're on HRT as well. I've just started working with it. I've just stopped it this week because I've been having breakthrough bleeding consistently since I started using it. So I just need to go, whoa, hang on a minute. It's giving me some benefits, but obviously I don't need to be having breakthrough bleeding every day, having not had a period for 4 years. So I know I need to change something. Without this becoming literally a sort of free consultation, what would be the main things you would ask women to consider when they are deciding whether or not to go down the HRT route?
No, I have no problem. I do a free 15-minute consultation, because why would you work with somebody if you didn't like them?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think there are 4 areas that I tend to talk to people about. What's going on with their stress in their life? What's going on with their movement? What's going on with their diet, their nutrition, and what's actually going on with their hormones? So, you know, you can tell quite a lot by people just saying, well, I haven't had a period for 67 years, or I'm still having a regular cycle. That tells me quite a lot. I can talk to them about that cycle, whether it's heavy, erratic, slow. I can talk to them about how they feel, whether they've got dry vagina, no libido, night sweats. All of those sorts of things build that hormonal picture, don't they?
Yeah.
I therefore talk to them about their life and what their life is like. And one of the things that I say, potentially glibly, because I'm not there yet, at such a point in my life when I can wander down a deserted beach wearing white linen trousers and somebody handing me the champagne or whatever, and I have no stress in my life, then I might decide that HRT is no longer the bridge to get me to that point. So most of the women that you and I probably work with are juggling not only their own children, but their parents, you know, the local village stuff, certainly their work stuff, their family. They are working full on.
Yeah.
And therefore, HRT often supports them to do that because there is no option otherwise. And we know for many women, they don't find that support and they have to leave that job. They leave that career that they've trained so hard to get to. So I think it's really important to make an informed decision about that rather than glibly say, no way, or it's absolutely the only way. So I talk to them about, you know, their stresses and what their stresses are. And a lot of the time we have very real stresses, but we pile on the stresses we don't need to have. Yes, of course, I'll make supper for you every night. I'm sorry. And it takes an outsider to ask you, why are you taking your 18-year-old son to the station in your car every morning when it's only a mile away and that would give you time to go for a walk yourself? Why? It takes an outsider often to ask that. And then I suppose is the nutrition question. So, you know, what is somebody's diet like? How much do they embrace as many plants as possible? How much alcohol are they relying on? How much sugar are they relying on? Not from a place of power or criticism or anything like that, but you might find that changes if you change that. And just as it's taken most women 50 odd years to find me, many of those, they didn't need me, nothing changes overnight, even if we wanted to. So this journey is a slow one, and I think our society wants a quick answer.
Yeah.
We want a quick answer. Okay, I'm going to give up alcohol and I'm going to eat broccoli and I'll be fine by next Wednesday. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Am I skinny yet?
Am I skinny yet?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm loving what you're sharing, because, it's always good. And I think this is one of the benefits of bringing in all of these wonderful, people that I have in my network, is you're just confirming and reaffirming, some of the things that we are sharing, but with your beautiful perspective on it. And what I was really, it's very interesting there as well, because I know that we've done, I've come and spoken to some of your community. There are some women who absolutely cannot go on HRT. So how do you work with that group of wonderful women?
Everything I deliver, I am skilled and qualified to deliver, is non-HRT.
Yeah.
I can't prescribe HRT. I can only advise about it.
Yeah.
So everything I do is geared towards, my program is called Move Over Menopause. And it's to help people use movement and other things to help them get into and beyond menopause.
Yeah.
Without prescribing HRT. My only role around HRT is to give people the facts so they make an informed decision. And I have to be honest, because I talk to people worldwide, sometimes put people in touch with people. I happen to know a few of my clients are based in Wales. And not to put Wales down, it's a lovely place, but there is only one doctor in that lady's area, and he will not prescribe her HRT for reasons known only to him. So often what we have is a network, isn't it, of online prescribers or local people, if I happen to know them, that I can signpost to.
Yeah. Okay. Fabulous. So let's talk about movement, because that's what you are all about. And and for me personally, it's been a real challenge, because I just got to a point where my body just kept breaking and breaking and breaking and breaking. And I'm on a journey back, is what I say. So I'd be really interested, for personal reasons, just please explain for you how you share, because I think I know I'm not the only person who gets to this phase of life, and there's plantar fasciitis, and there's a hip that's not moving as well, and then, as you've said, all the stresses come up and the emotional stuff, and all of a sudden you find that you're doom scrolling rather than going for a walk, because that's all you feel you can cope with emotionally. So let's talk about your passion, Sam. Let's talk about movement.
Okay, so if we start with the why is this so important? And you've probably told your community umpteen times, and I don't want to to be really boring, but basically the decline in our estrogen puts our bones, muscles, tendons, and heart all at risk. So we can either put some of that estrogen back via HRT, or we can do our absolute damnedest to help offset those risks by the way that we move. So hormones are the problem, and it's a bit like the WD-40 in the joint. When the joint starts getting creaky and achy, you put some WD-40 and the screwdriver works. It happens to our shoulders, it happens to our knees, it happens to our hips, plantar fasciitis, fingers, carpal tunnel syndrome. We are affected all over our body. But nearly always, and I say nearly always, people will come to me and say, my right knee isn't working, so I can't exercise. Well, what's wrong with your two arms, your shoulders, your neck, your core, your abs, and your feet? I don't know. I've never worked with anybody who's prepared to work with me knowing that my right knee doesn't work. We've got a great percentage of our body that does work. I've had two slightly defrosted shoulders. And in fact, the first one, when it first happened, I think it was about 5 years ago, I stopped doing any strength exercise for a while, and it got worse. We know.
I've noticed. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So we know we have to keep moving, and notice the words that I'm using, but we have to find the right people. So if one of the problems is the estrogen, the other problem is various things. Gym judge. A lot of people say they go to the gym. It's a term, it's not my term. I heard somebody use it. They go to the gym and they feel judged either by the instructors or by the other people there. That they don't know what they're supposed to be doing because their body doesn't work like it used to. But B, they feel like they're being looked at. And that really is a very off-putting thing. In fact, I think there was a survey done by Women in Sport 2 years ago that said, I think 97% of women in perimenopause and beyond know that movement helps them. And something like only 23% do anything about it because they're so scared of being too old, too unfit, too fat, going the wrong direction when everybody's going right, you're going left, or just plain not knowing what to do. I'm getting excited, aren't I? I'm so passionate about this, and I don't mean to be. So one, we've got the gym judge, and then you've got the gorgeous, highly educated, really lovely 28-year-old male PT who says, come on, just do another set. You'll never get any better unless you do X, Y, or Z. And, you know, I've got boys who are way fitter, way stronger than me, who have an understanding, because sadly, when we go on holiday, we all do a morning workout together before a huge breakfast. And they absolutely get that I will never do a star jump again. Why would I do a warm-up doing a star jump when my bladder might dribble a little bit?
Yeah.
But unless PTs are surrounded by or educated by women in their own family potentially, or women like us who are saying it as it absolutely is, why the hell would I want to do that? Then they're never going to know. So we need instructors who, I would say, have grit and grace. They're my two words. We have the grace to understand that what we're teaching needs to be right for those people in front of us, and to give them the grit to push a bit harder when it's right. When it's right and how it's right. And so the way to put that together, so we've got the what goes wrong and the people in front of them, is to now have an understanding that basically nothing that used to work works anymore. We throw the whole recipe out and we have a new recipe card. And that recipe is made up of 3 ingredients: strength exercise, cardio exercise, and restorative exercise. The strength, because it's good for our bones and our muscles and our tendons. The cardio, because we need to protect our hearts. And the restorative, because it's really good for your brain and really good for weight loss.
Yeah.
Because it calms. Absolutely. I'm sure you're totally aware of it. Restorative exercise is interesting, actually, because it is the yoga, the Tai Chi, it's some types of Pilates, it might be ballet. But I actually think chuntering around in the garden, pottering with your pots is just as good. I think that, you know, restorative stuff, sorry, that's my dog, can all be, can tick that box for us. It doesn't necessarily need to be a class you go to.
And I'm just going to, please don't apologize for anything you're saying, because we want the passion, and we want the everything. And it's really the restorative part is the interesting bit, isn't it? Because again, you know, as you were saying earlier, in this quick fix world, when people say, I need it faster and I need it harder, and I'm not working hard enough, I'm not pushing hard enough. And, you know, I've got a beautiful example of a client I worked with who was, you know, at that stage of life, pushing. And she was like, I need to do another kettlebell class. And I said to her, please trust me, come to Pilates for the next 6 weeks. If you do not see a difference in the next 6 weeks, I'll refund you all of your Pilates classes. And of course she came and she shifted another stone for exactly the reasons you were saying. But how do you influence, convince, cajole somebody who is of that mindset of, I must push harder to achieve the benefits, to do the restorative?
I tend to be found by 2 different types of people. I tend to be found by the yoga types who know they've now got to start lifting something slightly heavier than a vibrator. and they're sort of like really scared. Well, I mean, that's how heavy they are, isn't it? Come on. Okay, we need to get a bit stronger than that. If we're going to put our own luggage in the overhead locker on the plane, we've got to be able to
I'm
lift
just
something.
laughing at the thought of people bench pressing vibrators.
So it tends to be the yogi type. So clearly I don't have to influence them. I have to help them and support them to start doing something that's a bit different.
Yeah.
Or I see lots of runners. I'm also a running coach.
Yes.
20 odd years of being a running coach. And if it doesn't make their marathon time faster, or their half marathon time faster, or if it's not going to get them, to run longer, they can't see the value.
Yeah.
Those people are much, much more difficult to work with.
Mm.
The only thing I can do in that situation is explain, at the time of my fastest marathon time, which was 3:45, I was 1.5 stone heavier than I am now. If I had embraced the yoga at that point, when I knew no better, I actually probably would have been even faster, because I would have been even lighter. And that's the only, you have to talk from your own experiences, don't I? So there's an academic, and there's the research telling us all of this, and then there's your story, my story, and all the other stories of the people that I've worked with, thousands of them now over the years, to back that up. The try before you buy sort of thing.
Absolutely. So you've talked about the restorative, which, as you said, some types of Pilates, some types of yoga, as you say, just pottering and tootling round the garden. Talk to me about the cardio, because obviously you are a running coach, you are passionate about running. I knew you about running, I think right from day one. I don't do running. I think I almost wear that t-shirt. So where do I find my cardio? Because I don't want to run.
Okay, I'm going to probably surprise you and say that for most women, perimenopause or otherwise, cardio is the easiest one to get, because all we need to do is walk a bit faster.
Yeah.
All you need to do is go up a hill or walk a bit faster. So whether you've got your old dog with you or not, whether you've got a podcast, you've got music, whether it's pissing down with rain or it's a beautiful day and you choose the right time of day, nearly everybody, and I know it's not everybody, can walk or walk faster. And if you're in one of those phases where you've got plantar fasciitis and you can't walk at all, let alone faster, you can do your cardio by slamming a ball down onto the ground, a weighted ball, or a sandbag down on the ground. You can get weighted things like that from Lidl or Aldi 3 or 4 times a year. They have, these medicine balls, or they have sandbags. You don't have to go for a run or get on a bike or go swimming or play tennis or anything like that to get your cardio. In fact, once again, you can tell this isn't me, but I've got a friend who's got a garden like Sarah Raven, and she's up and down her garden with her wheelbarrow and her manure and everything. She gets more cardio doing that than somebody might do from doing a 5K run slowly. So what I tend to do when people come to me is I help them go through what else is already going on in your life? If you take your dog round the block for 10 minutes at the moment, can I get you to up it to 20 minutes and do it to a playlist that knows that you're going to go at a faster pace? Box ticked.
Yeah.
No, add any more. Simple.
Loving these hacks, because again, we're coming up to the summer holidays, aren't we? So there's going to be a lot of our clients going, oh my gosh, I'm now in full-time mum mode. How on earth am I going to fit in, this, or that, or whatever? And like you say, getting out, going for a walk. And again, one of the things I'm trialing, because again, I work from home, so it's easier, is after I've eaten, that old going for your what is it, your constitutional walk, or my promenading. I'm pretending that I'm in Bridgerton, and I'm going for a promenade after my meals to balance my blood sugars. But again, it's just, as you say, fit it in where you can get it in, and just think about, maybe I will go that way rather than that way. And then what about the strength? Because again, where I found myself was back in the CrossFit style gym, which just wasn't suiting me, with an amazing 28-year-old guy saying another one, and me wanting to punch his lights in because I was just feeling like I'm breaking now, and so on. So then I was a bit like, now I don't kind of know where to hang out anymore. So share some top tips for getting that strength training in, please.
I think it's really important for us to understand that what we're not trying to do is build muscle that necessarily shows. We're not trying to lift the most weight. So somebody asked me this, in fact, the other day. There's almost a difference, if you like, between weight training and strength training. So, and every PT will describe this slightly differently, but for the woman in perimenopause or menopause, there is training to look amazing in one of those tiny bikinis when you stand in a strange way and you do things, don't you, so that your muscle definition is seen. And that's an incredible feat of endurance because it takes a long time to get to. You have to have your nutrition balance and everything. And that is designed to get you to look a certain way. Right, park that. What we want to do is to be able to take ourselves to the toilet, to be able to pick up our parents when they fall, to chase your grandchildren or your toddlers down the garden, certainly to put your luggage in the overhead locker if you ever get on a plane again and go anywhere. We want to be strong for life.
Yeah.
Just to do. Somebody said to me the other day, I've noticed my elderly mum can't change her own bedding anymore. Not because she can't put the duvet on, because she can't lift up the mattress.
Yeah.
So if you think about those things we do in day-to-day life, therefore, taking a weight that's 1 kilogram and doing this is actually not going to be training you for life. Because if you put a tin of beans in the overhead cupboard, that's probably about 500 grams. And most of us expect to be able to do much, much more than that. So what we need is a program that takes you from where you're comfortable, where you're at. Okay, I've got some 1 kilogram weights and I'll start with those, and slowly progresses you, I would say, over probably an 8 to 12 week regime or something, so that slowly you get stronger and stronger and stronger. That doesn't mean that you increase every day. It means that perhaps possibly one day you increase the reps, or another day you increase the amount of time you're doing it for. So we change different things all the time. But the muscle that we have to grow there is confidence and trust. It's confidence and trust in that person. And slowly you get stronger. And somebody said to me the other day, oh, I was cleaning my teeth and I suddenly saw, oh, I didn't know. It happens slowly and insidiously. And I think the biggest thing here, Mary, is that women will go to a gym or they've got some weights at home. They don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
And so they don't go back to a gym. And if I may say so, I went online in lockdown. I have a studio at the end of my garden where I used to have 10 people in the studio, and I went online in lockdown while everybody else was having gin and tonics and the other half of the world was moving online, wasn't it? And I will never go back, because I now appeal to the people who want to be in their own houses. They don't want to go to a gym. They want 30 minutes. It doesn't matter what they're wearing. Nobody cares if they're not wearing Lululemon or Sweaty Betty.
Yeah.
Bang, done, sorted, gone. And that's what I do.
Wow. So your main work now is online, Sam?
Everything is online.
Everything is online. Fantastic. Okay. Is there anyone where you would be like, that's not the right thing for you to be doing as a perimenopausal, menopausal woman?
Yes, loads. I have in my team a pelvic floor fitness specialist. I have a yoga teacher who's a menopause yoga teacher, and my Pilates teacher is a physiotherapist. And together, when people join my online fitness programs, they have access to everything. But at the beginning, so I've got a lady at the moment with a prolapse disc. I speak to everybody, right, this is where I think you need to go. The instructors know that person's got that thing. And so I will very definitely stay away from that, stay away from that, stay away from that. So from a physical point of view, because most of us have got almost a clinical background, we look at people in a slightly different way. But every now and again, somebody will come to me and they'll say every now and again, I'll get a lady who's 6 weeks post-op. She used to be a marathon runner. She's just found out she's had some kind of cancer. She's had the cancer. She has had the surgery. She writes to me. She says, I need to be back running again. I've been told 12 weeks. I need to join your classes. I'm sorry, love. It's not the right thing for you to be doing. So she may listen to what I have suggested, which is great, or she may go and find somebody else who will help her do what she wants to do. but that ain't me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So very definitely. Yeah.
Very definitely. Okay, fantastic. So movement, we want a beautiful combination. Is there a sort of way you would say, you know, weights, strength twice a week, cardio twice a week, and everything else this, or?
I think my gut reaction for most people who are a bit new to this is strength twice a week, restorative once a week, and cardio twice a week, remembering that cardio is only just walking. Now, if somebody is already a runner or already does some kind of cardio based, this is my tennis description, then I might be trying to get them down from 3 times a week and getting them to up their strength. So I think everybody has to have their own recipe.
Yeah.
You know, plenty of people say, well, I already do yoga 3 times a week. So we have to sort of look at everybody as an individual.
Yeah.
But I would say for most people, 1 or maybe even 2 restoratives a week, 2 strength, and then 1 or 2 cardio. But for me, my classes are nearly all around, not yoga, but the others are all around 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're talking a small amount of time. As long as it takes you to scroll through Instagram in the morning, you could have done it.
We've been in my bedroom, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because we need to get it done and get on with the day. And in fact, many women like to get it done first thing in the morning. The interesting thing about strength workouts, particularly for people who work online, is they actually tend to not make you particularly sweaty. Cardio, yeah, you're sweating. And so if you've then got clients immediately afterwards in a Zoom call, you've got to go and do the doings, haven't you? But often people will do a strength workout because it's strong, you haven't sweated as much, and they find that they can go straight into a work situation and later on that day.
Yeah, so sort of strength in the morning, cardio afterwards. Love it.
Or when nobody's waiting for you. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So we've been together for about half an hour, so I'm going to be really, really mindful of your time, because otherwise I'll just be like being a big sponge here going, Sam, bring me, yeah, share. If we finish, sort of bring this to a beautiful conclusion, and I've put all of your links and details of how people can find you when we've put your sort of bio in the group, and obviously I'll put that underneath for the YouTube video as well. If I bumped into you over a glass of champagne with my black bean brownie in the other hand, maybe we're at that kind of soiree, and said to you, Sam, 5 top tips for navigating this time of life, putting you on the spot, what would they be?
5 top tips. Be grateful. Oh, it gives me a lump in my throat even now. Be grateful that you're here to be going through that.
Yes.
Because how many people aren't?
Yeah.
Learn to love your body as it is now. How many times did we, when we were thin, tight, fit, smooth, and everything, did we think, oh, I'm fat? And wouldn't we like to know what it would be like to look like that again now? And so the 80-year-olds, the 90-year-olds look at us now and they say, I'd love to look like you now.
Yeah.
So for flipping hell,
Yeah.
be so happy with what you've got now. I think a little, what your granny used to say, a little of what you fancy does you good. I don't believe in giving up all the foods, all the things that we love. But I do think that we've gone into a supersize me nation of cake every day, chocolate every day, champagne every day. Nothing wrong with a little bit of all of the things that we fancy, but keep it in balance.
Yeah.
I think learning how to say no is one of the best skills, and I'm still learning. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And don't forget to do things that you love, that make your tummy smile. So things that make my tummy smile are watching puppies play in ball pools, being with my husband, being with my family, going out for meals, being with my running group. But actually, how often do we take the time to think, what really does make me smile? We're so busy. We've forgotten all of that.
Yeah.
There's my 5.
Love every single one of them, and they've made me go, because absolutely, yes, Just yes. Just yes. Oh, is there anywhere else people can find you other than the links that you've sent me?
I live in Sevenoaks in Kent, so if anybody is in Sevenoaks and you want to come and join the running group, you learn about menopause at the same time. No, I am on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and I have a website, but I'm a very real person, and if anybody wants to talk to me, pop me a message. I'm very happy to do a free Zoom call, 15-minute Zoom call for anybody.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think I will be going and looking out your online training, because that's the thing for me. After 30 minutes as well, I'm bored now, you know, and I think that's the thing. It's finding what fits in with who we are, and it's absolutely what you said, loving who we are, this version, meet yourself where you're at and see where that takes you. So it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing so openly and with so much passion. Please do go and look at all of the places that you can find Sam and reach out to her and her community. It's online, so it doesn't matter that she's in Sevenoaks and we're up here in Barrow upon Soar. This is about getting that network of amazing people around you to support you as you go through this time of life. So Sam, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for
I look
inviting
forward
me.
to connecting with you again really, really soon.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.